Welcome to Move, Metabolic Optimization via Exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is Move. Let's get started. Hey, welcome back to another episode. I am on my way in my neighborhood, and I thought I would use a different view to show you what's going on around me. I tend not to use this one because there are often people walking around, and so when they show up, then they get into the video. But hey, we're gonna see what we got here. The sun is going down. It's a cool afternoon, cool evening here. And I've got some things to do as I get back home to get ready for this week. I'm excited for so many different things that are going to be happening over the course of the next several weeks. I started a new program just a little while ago, actually started on Friday, that is going to be helping me to improve in several areas of my life personally. And so that's been exciting to just get started. I am by nature a learner. I love to learn. In fact, if somebody would pay me to learn all the time, then yeah. In fact, I often will say that I don't think I actually work. Because every time I walk into my office, I'm learning something. I'm learning about patients. I'm learning about how people's lives continue to impact the disease. I have medical students who are rotating through my office. I have high school students who are rotating through the office. We'll have nurse practitioner students. We'll have college students, university students. And what I love about having them with me is, you know, when we do something over and over, it tends to become rote. What I mean by that is that it's just, you just do it. And when I have students, I get excited because they force me to rethink. They force me to find ways to help them understand. They force me to add new pieces of data and information to what I already know. They will find efficient ways. They'll find faster ways. They'll find innovative ways of doing things. In fact, sometimes, so I teach, I ask a lot of questions, okay? And I'm that's just how I am. And I'll ask a question because I have in my mind what the answer is. I have an answer that I'm looking for. And often this medical student or even the university student, they will answer my question, and I'll say to myself, wow, I'll say to them, you know, I'm gonna have to add some more answers to this list because I didn't think about that. That wasn't the one I was looking for. But that actually makes absolute and complete sense, what you just said. And that just allows me to enhance my thought process. It allows me to enhance how I think, how I do things, how I'm able to explain to them so that it continues to expand me. It makes me a better person, a better physician. It makes me a better learner. And I am at the point in my life where I know that I don't know everything. And I tell my medical students, if you are in a room and you're the smartest person in the room, then you need to find a different room. Because there are things that you will think of and things that you will learn that there are other people that are better at. There are other people that will continue to show and continue to help you to grow if you will allow them to do that. So we want to be open to learning. We want to have an open mind, open thought process, so that we continue to grow. But so I'm a learner. I love to learn, and when I am on screen, when I'm walking, when I'm talking, when I'm explaining, when I'm doing the things I do, it is such an amazing time or amazing experience. It is so all-encompassing that I learned quite a bit in that process. So even being here, and I shouldn't say even, being here with you, same thing, same idea, because it helps me to learn as I explain and as I do the things that I do here. So thank you, by the way. Thank you for that. All right, so once again, you're seeing me as I walk around my neighborhood. I'm down in that corner, and this is let's see, I think this is the actual older part of our neighborhood, right, which is where I'm coming from, heading more to the newer part of the neighborhood. It's a pretty big area, by the way. So what are you learning? What are you learning right now? What piece of information did you learn today? What piece of information did you learn this week? Have you learned something about your body? Have you learned something about how the world around you affects your body? How the food you eat, the sleep you get, the stress you manage, the water you drink, the relationships you have you learned anything about how they affect you? That ultimately is a part of what we do, a part of what we have to do if we are going to be successful and if we are going to have a long, healthy life, right? Because we are going to need to and want to know how the world around us affects us and how to adequately deal with the things that will come at us at any given time. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. And learning is one of those things. You know, when we talk about our health action plan, right? Mindset mastery entails that. Structure and planning entails that. So those are the places where we are learning, one, about ourselves, so emotional intelligence, learning about ourselves and how we interact with the world around us and how people around us interact with us, and then using that for our benefit, using that information so that we are able to do and be the best version of ourselves. So mindset mastery says that I have to learn the skills that are required for that, so that I know how to handle stress. I know how to, in the moment, not react, but respond, right? The COPE model, that's the whole idea behind the COPE model. Is it is a mechanism, it is a tool that gives us a framework for how to manage those things. Otherwise, we end up reacting to things which causes more damage than good. Okay, we're like, well, I'm just gonna, well, no, don't just gonna. Be thoughtful about it. Take a moment, right? Clarify, observe, pause, and execute. That's the whole idea. That's the COPE model. Clarify what's going on. Understand what the trigger is. See, observe what it's doing to you, right? Where is it in your body? What emotion are you feeling? Name it, because when you name it, you're able to then deal with it in a way, because you have now mechanisms to deal with different types of emotions, by the way. That's another thing we need to spend some time doing, how to deal with specific emotions. Another conversation, several conversations there, by the way. So So clarify, right? So what is actually going on? I understand now. I know that what just happened, I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry because I just ate. What's going on is that I just had a conversation, and the conversation made me feel a certain way. And observe, where is it in my body? What is it making me feel? What is it making me do? What is it doing to me? That's the observation part. And then pause. The pause part allows my brain, allows my prefrontal cortex to take over, and allows my prefrontal cortex to modulate the amygdala. And the amygdala wants to simply, it wants to simply react. It wants to get out of danger at all costs. It doesn't matter how we do it, just as long as we're no longer in danger. That's the amygdala. But the prefrontal cortex has the ability to modulate that and say, hey, no, we can do this in a different way. We don't have to behave in the same way. We don't have to go eat. We don't have to go become hypersexualized. We don't have to overexert. We don't have to become a workaholic. We don't have to live in the gym. Whatever the excess is, whatever the buffering behavior is, we don't have to do it that way. We can do it a different way. That's what the prefrontal cortex does. It gives us that ability to do something that is beneficial to us, beneficial for us, and not something that is detrimental to us, okay? And then we execute. So the execution part, another whole series that we could do on that. So what are the things, what are the ways now, what are the behaviors, what are the tools that we now have at our disposal for execution? What are some other things that we can do instead of what we normally do? And that means that you now have to learn some tools. You have to learn some skills. It means that you have to take time. You have to be able to, let me go back this way for a minute. The light, let's see, which way? We'll continue going up. So you have to now learn some skills. You can't keep doing things the same way. And that is a part of that whole mindset mastery. And then structure and planning. Structure and planning says that if I'm going to be successful, I have to have a systematic way of thinking and about doing things. I can't just keep winging it. Winging it does not work. Winging it may get us through this situation, maybe through several situations, but ultimately we're building bad behavior. We're building bad habits. We are building habits that cannot sustain us long. Now, one of the I was trying to think of a good word. One of the things, let me just say it this way. One of the things that happens is that we do it and we get away with it, and we get away with it, and we get away with it, and we get away with it. And we think because we've gotten away with it so much that it is the right thing to do and the right way to do. But we're lucky. That's what's going on. We are lucky. And if we run into that one situation where that does not work, oh man, that throws us so much because we're so used to getting this by luck. And it makes us anxious. Because if you are not sure, right, why you were successful, then your brain says, well, yeah, we just got lucky. And so you have to keep getting lucky. And all it takes is one time where you didn't get lucky, quote unquote, and that causes tremendous difficulty for us. Because this has been working all the time. Why doesn't it work now? But if we have a systematic way of doing it, structure and planning, and we have an understanding of how that works, when it doesn't work in a certain situation, all we have to do is we have to adjust the method that we're using, because it's not about the luck. It's not really about that situation either. It's about our system. It's about the plan. It's about the structure that we have in place. And if we do that well, if we continue to tweak and and modulate and modify, then it doesn't matter what situation we run into. Because as long as we're able to adjust it, we have a method of doing it, we're good. And ultimately, that's what we want. And limitless living says that we're not just out here winging it. We're showing up with our best selves, our best health, and our best plan. And we are getting better. We are improving. We're growing each time. That is the beauty of being structured. One of the conversations I often have in the office with patients is about what they're doing. So people will say, well, I just, for instance, a diabetic, right? Oh, I just take some insulin. Well, how much insulin do you take? Oh, I take 5. Why do you take 5? Well, I just think that I thought that was going to be a good amount. Well, why? They say, well, because my blood sugar was 50. I said, okay, well, suppose it was 51. How much would you take? He said, well, I'll take the same amount. Okay, well, at what number do you take a different amount? Or what number should you take? And actually, if your blood sugar is 50, should you take insulin, right? There's some people who say, yeah, well, yeah, so you've got to have a method. And then we can tweak the method. To get better benefits. So we can adjust that if we understand what you're doing. But if we don't know what you're doing, if you don't understand what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing, then that makes it difficult. Okay? All right. And so as we're continuing to improve our health, the goal is to continually be learners. We always want to be learners. We are continuing to move in the direction of being successful. So, as you see, I'm out here now. The sun is pretty much gone, and well, you can probably still see me just a little bit. There's a street light right here. There are a couple of lights out there. You probably see this other camera better. The one that's pointing straight forward, because that's where the light is. But that's the goal. We want to continually be learning and continually be expanding and continually get better. If we can do that, if we are able to do that, then our ability to succeed goes up, and our ability to improve our health goes up. And this idea of living longer and being healthier is much more achievable, right? And so as we talk about metabolic optimization via exercise, oh yeah, this is all about not just moving our bodies, but moving our minds, moving our thoughts, moving in a way that changes pretty much every aspect of our domains of health, have the ability to be adjusted. And if we can do that, we do that successfully, then it translates into success in our metabolism. Man, yeah. When I have these conversations, I often say this is my favorite, and that's simply because I'm a learner. So they're all my favorite because it is a concept that I am installing into myself, and that I continue to learn about. Well, that's just what it is. And so I hope these are concepts, behaviors that you too are saying, man, that's one of my favorites. Because if you can do that, if you can continue to install them, then you are setting yourself up for the best possibility of success. Well, I'm always glad when I get to hang out with you. Glad that you are here. And I look forward to seeing you as we continue our goal of long, healthy life, as we continue to push forward to reverse metabolism, or to improve our metabolism, reverse the metabolic dysfunction that we see, reverse our diabetes, get off of medication, and to live long, live healthy, and to do the things we need to do, we want to do with our families, with our friends, to connect, and to be successful. But thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on our next episode of Move. Have a great one. We'll see you later. Thank you for being a part of Move today. Remember, transformation isn't built in hype. It's built in consistent steps. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. Keep showing up, keep stacking your wins, and keep moving forward with us. This is Move.